tears, don't you cry, 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 cry.
We about to start soon. Let me know if you were pumped for this new album that's finna come out. Hey, shout out Samantha Pinkerton. Hope you and your son are doing well. Stupid Almanac, what up? Jessica, what up?
Thank you very much. Remember, if you get chilly and if it gets breezy, then you get chilly back there. Just put your hands in your pants.
We're gonna have Jessica on soon. Couple of guests soon on at the end. After I go over a couple things, let me know if you want to come on. We opening up the call lines. Let me know what you think about the tour dates. Let me know what you think about the new album track listing. What up? What up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. Thank you for tuning in. We have happy tour day. Happy new album announcement day, eh? Yes, sir. It's a great time to be a fan of DMB, without a doubt. It is a great time to be a fan of DMB. And we're going to be going over some things today. I got another PowerPoint. Let me know what grade you give it. But a lot has transpired today. I started off the day, as everyone, with anxiety about what was going to happen. You know, what were we going to get? Uh, an album? Were we going to get just a single? Were we going to get an announcement of an album? Were we going to get any pre-sale links? And this is how everything started off here. Let's go back to this first clip from IG. Don't forget to hit the like button, folks. Rocky Kanga Music, hope you're doing well. Anthony, great to see you. We got to hang out soon. Now that I'm all settled in and marriage and weddings over, we got to hang out soon. I'll definitely hit you up. Okay, so let's take a look at what was going on this morning. There's no madness on Spotify for the North America region, and I don't know why. The rest of the world got it at midnight in the respective time zone, but not for North America. We're all alone. Oh, we need to have this single and also tour dates. Cause if they don't deliver something new, we're gonna get mad. Gonna get mad. Seriously, release the tour dates, release the singles, DMB social media management, Cap Shaw, stop capping. Yo. Me and all my friends, such a happy human race. We just want them tour dates. I know it's 8:27 in the morning, but every hour we wait, we get more anxiety. We wanna know if Riverbend's gonna be back on that concert sheet, so we keep waiting, waiting for the new dates to come. We keep on waiting, waiting for the dates to come. We'll be happy about putting requests and be mad when we get denied. We keep on waiting, waiting on the dates to come.
Wake up naked, drinking coffee, making plans to change the world. While the world is time for this moment to come, I'm destined.
And then I was given some information, and I didn't realize, I checked the Ants form. I just realized they got the same link that I got. And I got this link this morning to an Amazon album pre-order for Walk Around the Moon. So then I went and got the clearance to be able to share it with y'all, and that's what I got. Oops. Let's get that sound on. Hold on. Gotta get that sound on. So there you go. New album was, so this link was passed around. People found out. Of course, everyone's hounding Amazon and iTunes and the website. And this was about an hour or two before it was announced. I was given this link around 10 Eastern, and it's like, oh, okay. And just as I was told, and shout out to everyone,
I don't always get information, but sometimes, I'm able to get some details. But the sources that were saying that there was going to be no full album, but just an announcement plus single, they got that correct. And nobody got the California date at the casino, so that I guess that was just a well kept secret. But also, there probably was no connects there because it's a casino, and a lot of times it's not tapped in. Hey, Joe. Joe, if you want to come on, let me know. We'll hit you up. We'll get you a link. I don't know if I've been so busy, and then I've been trying to get everything together. But Joe, let me know. We'd love to have you on as well. But let me start with this little PowerPoint, and then we'll get to some of you guys and the callers. And I agree with what you're saying, Joe, on there. But let's get this slideshow set up. All right. So we have DMB 2023 tour dates plus new album. I wish I had more time. I'm going to try to see, the problem is if I take a day off and then there's no new album, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Because last year it got pushed back. Andrew 34, what up? Tables turn again, what up? So we'll go over the regions and look at the album track listing for this thing. We'll also look at the song times for this new album as far as what we have been seeing. Now, when I say welcome back for this data, it just means that this is a venue that was not part of the 2022 summer tour, but part of a previous tour. A new venue just means the venue, the band has never played before. Venues cut means venues that are part of the 2022 tour, but now they are not part of the 2023 tour. Here, let me just adjust that. All right. So we're going to start out with the Dirty South. That's Mark, our favorite friend Mark, with this thumbs down. This was when the West Palm Beach shows were postponed. We now know, Jeff Coffin to reveal to us it was Dave that got COVID. We all assumed that, but he confirmed that. So we have 13 shows for 2023 in the Dirty South. So for new venues, we have Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a brand new venue. This is going to be a great thing for this portion of North Carolina along, I think of it as along the 95 corridor. And it's more, what's interesting is you'll see what venues were cut, but there were some North Carolina venues cut from this to make sure that this could happen. Yeah, Wilmington is right on the coast of North Carolina towards the South Carolina border. So this Carolinas tour is really coastal. There's nothing inland. There's no Charlotte. There's no Raleigh, Durham. But this is right. Let me just take a look here on the map. 95 is a little ways out, but this is coastal. We get back Orange Beach, Alabama, Rogers, Arkansas, Alpharetta, Nashville, South Haven, and Orange Beach. Nashville being a big one that fans were hoping for. I hope the set list is good. I really hope the set list is good and it's not cookie cutter. Bridgestone sold out, I believe, last time. All right, so some notable dates. The 2-night stand in Wilmington to me is that notable thing because they're going to do first ever 2-night stand in this location. And it took over 2 dates we'll get to in a second. Florida goes from 5 summer shows to 2 summer shows at West Palm Beach and then 1 winter festival in Tampa. That's Innings Fest East. Innings Fest. DMB played Innings Fest. The initial location was in Tempe. They now have Tempe and Tampa. These are both spring training, respectively, for the cactus and grapefruit leagues. Grapefruit being out in Florida, cactus being out in Arizona. So that festival is growing, expanding. DMB's going to hit up the East Coast Tampa version on 3/19. That's the last day of winter. So technically, Tampa is a winter show this year. And no Austin. This is what we're going to get to right now. So let's go along these things that were cute without the E. Cut from the team. Huntsville, Alabama. That is a brand new venue, Orion Amphitheater. And it's a shame that one was cut. That had great connections for people in Tennessee, parts of northern Georgia, and for Atlanta, not a bad ride. And then parts west of Huntsville, who, DMB fans who may not get many shows in the area, they could take highways and byways to Huntsville. Tampa, no headlining show again, though, playing in the winter, last day of winter. Jacksonville got cut this year. Now, Jacksonville's always had a Katy Perry hot and cold setup with DMB. They get them, they played the Veterans, was it Memorial Coliseum out there? Then they don't play for a couple of years. They come back. Dave and Tim did Daly's Place in 17. Full band does Daly's Place in 22. And hey, that's what they do. So Raleigh and Charlotte, these are two of the most fastest growing cities in North Carolina, along with Asheville. Asheville's closer to the Tennessee border, named after a relative of Arthur Ashe, by the way. Fun fact, Asheville is named after the relative of the famous tennis player Arthur Ashe. But I digress. These two large emerging cities got cut, but they're putting this thing along the coastline, a brand new venue in Wilmington. That's where they'll play. Atlanta lost Lake Hood, aka Lakewood, but they will get in the metro Alpharetta north of Atlanta. I believe it's northwest or northeast. Shout out to all my folks, DeKalb, Cobb, Fulton, and Clayton counties out there in the ATL. Austin, Texas gets cut. The initial Austin show last year was to open up a brand spanking new venue. So that venue is now the home of UT basketball. They have concerts there, the Moody Center. Big donors throwing big money at that new barn or arena. So they wanted to impress. They got DMB and some other big acts. And I think maybe that's just a one-time thing. Maybe they come back every other year to there. But that was more like a favor to help spice up and hype up this big venue at a part of a campus that has some of the most wealthiest donor money coming in than any other campus in the country. UT Austin. They literally just have unlimited money there to build new things. The donors run that school athletic department. Anyway, I digress. So, stupid almanac. Houston is not missing. The Woodlands is in the Houston metro area. It's like 45 minutes north of downtown. I've actually been out to Houston when I was on business. Yeah. So the Woodlands is Houston. It's the same thing. And they played the Woodlands last year anyway. So it's the same thing. Let's see. Bristol, Brandon, Mississippi, no shocker. They move it still to there's still a Mississippi show, but it's not in Brandon. Bristol and Virginia Beach. This was a shocker that they didn't have. I think I would have kept Virginia Beach. Bristol, you can rule out because Columbia, Maryland kind of takes the crowd and fan base of Bristol. Bristol's in Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia is part of the DC Metro. Columbia, Maryland is also part of the DC Metro. So the distance rules that they have, I'm not shocked Bristol's not happening with Columbia. Maryland, Merriweather Post Pavilion getting a show. Merriweather's the bigger venue. Merriweather sells better. It sold better in 21 than Bristol. So it makes sense to have Merriweather over Bristol. I'm just shocked there's no Virginia Beach show. Shout out to the 757 where my dad was born in Portsmouth, VA. So they don't get a show. That's kind of the bigger shocker. No full band Virginia shows in 2023 as of 1/24/23, which is today. Who knows what they'll add? Maybe they'll have some special Seaville shows this winter. Maybe they'll have a surprise. Well, actually, they probably would have announced it by now just for promotion, but I think they should have did a Charlottesville pair of shows in May. But they're starting early. They're going to Mexico, right? And then they're going to be going right to the dirty South in H-Town at the Woodlands, and then going to Dallas. So they're doing those big cities in Texas for the Texas two-step. But I thought they should have had 2 shows in Seaville. Is what it is. All right, East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, 15 total shows, the largest amount of shows of any of these regions. New venues, Forest Hill, New York. That's Forest Hill Stadium. This is just like, I consider this like in right next to Queens, New York, or maybe be a part of Queens, but it's essentially like Queens. And speaking of Asheville, Arthur Ashe, this is where greats like Arthur Ashe played tennis. They converted this thing into a concert venue, which is also Columbia or Charleston, South Carolina. That's a tennis center that they have concerts at. And out here in Connecticut, Westfield Music Bowl did the same thing as Forest Hill Stadium, converted a former tennis center into a concert venue. So cool idea. Charleston still has tennis matches, but the other Forest Hill Stadium and Westfield Music Bowl have no tennis. It's all concerts, which is cool. That is going to be a hard ticket to get because it has such easy access to New York City, and a lot of the New York City fans won't go to Jones Beats. Some won't even go to Homedale because you're not guaranteed a good show there. Last year they had a great Shotgun, but years past it had some cookie cutter parts of song sets, and this is on a Friday. So this will be a hot ticket. Me personally, I'm going to be on the fence with that Forest Hill show because it's not a 2-night stand. To go all the way and fight for people to get a ticket, I think this thing will sell out or be close to selling out. There's no lawn area. It's all seating and then a court floor. Maybe they'll have the whole floor pit or maybe just the front of the floor pit and floor seating. But this is a venue that's going to be pretty intimate compared to other amphitheaters. This is like a tennis like setup where the stands and the actual court, which would be a floor. But to me, I'm still on the fence with this one. If I get a good deal last minute, I'll go. If not, I'll just go to Hartford after this. We welcome back Columbia, Maryland. I just told you, sold better than Bristol. More people, bigger venue, bigger lawn, and it's sold out. So this is going to be better than Bristol for the band, for the fans. A lot of the fans from this DMV area are closer to Merriweather than they are to Bristol. Bangor, Maine. This one is out there. Every now and then, this venue gets shows. Fish comes up here, DMB, other acts. And I think it's more of, if this wasn't a Live Nation venue, it doesn't get this show. But Live Nation has that pull to get people up to Maine. A lot of people vacation here for the summer. So, I think this is more of a Live Nation. Hey, can you get some business up here? Burgettstown. Oops, I said Maryland. It's Burgettstown. I always have a spelling error on these. It's like tradition. But it's Burgettstown, Pennsylvania.
Bruh.
And so Pittsburgh has been on and off now and then. And I know all the Pittsburgh DMB fans, there's a good contingent in Pittsburgh. They're happy. All the people in Western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, not too far from there. And even parts of Eastern Ohio can get out to that venue. Darien Lake, New York, that's out there by our Buffalo and Syracuse folks. That's a nice venue out there for them, where they're close to, so they will get that. Even though Lakeview doesn't get a show, Darien Lake gets one. Very interesting because Lakeview is the newer venue, but there's also issues with Lakeview, transportation, parking, things like that. But hey, Darien Lake, shout out to y'all. Y'all getting a show. We're getting to that. That'll be next, Jake. This is actually, yeah. So Bethel, New York gets cut. That's again a venue that DMB doesn't play frequently anymore. So not shocked about that. DC, something in the water, that doesn't really count. I mean, they're not going to go to that every year, but I just wanted to point that out. And I think the biggest snub is Blossom. Beautiful shed. I need to get out there one day. I've heard great things about the sound and experience, but Blossom does not get it at all. They actually, there's an Riverbend is getting a show. I forgot to add that, but the Riverbend is coming back. I consider Ohio, although Riverbend is like literally right at the the cusp of Appalachia in the south. But Riverbend is technically it's in Ohio, Cincinnati, right on the was at the Ohio River, and it is back. So welcome back, Riverbend, Cincinnati, Ohio. I think I said that. Did I go? Oh, I didn't add, maybe I added it to the south. So the Midwest, we get 7 total shows here. Cincinnati, I counted Cincinnati for the East Coast, so I don't know why I put it there. But we welcome back for the Midwest: Cincinnati, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Milwaukee. Chirac sold more tickets than Chicago sold more tickets in 2021 than Alpine sold in 2022. So Alpine is clearly the better venue by far, but Chicago sold more. So they're going to keep going back to Chicago for as of right now. Summerfest Milwaukee is going to be one that comes back. That's expected every other year. They alternate. You get the Chicago Milwaukee pair, and then or you get Alpine. Now, what's also interesting about the Summerfest show is it's going to be back to back with the Deer Creek. So Thursday Summerfest in Milwaukee, Friday Deer Creek Night 1, Saturday Deer Creek Night 2. I feel like that's going to be tough for the fans just because that traffic is annoying. It's a 4-hour drive, sure, not far for most people who drive anywhere, who are used to traveling, but getting through Chicago, getting through Northern Illinois or 94, and then getting through Chicago, getting through the Skyway, can be a bit of a pain. You wake up the next morning and drive, but you're really gonna have to get out and get early, and then that's gonna take some energy out of you for night 1 of the Deer Creek run. Anyway, after that, like I said, venues cut. Alpine, that's expected every other year. They swap it. They have limited shows at Alpine. The locals kind of have put up that fight to keep a limited amount of shows there. And then Toronto, I don't know where to put Toronto, but it is what it is. Chirac's okay. I'll stop saying Chirac. I'll stop saying Chicago. The Wild West. We got 7 shows out here. A lot of land, a lot of open space. A big part of the largest region in square footage of how we break down the DMB tour circuit, but only 7 shows. We welcome back Bend, Oregon, and Irvine, California. They come back into the mix. Venues cut. I mean, this is a lot of venues cut from the West Coast, but last year the West Coast got a lot more love than normal. You get Fiddlers, Greenwood Village, Colorado. I have a feeling that they're gonna add. I think it's possible you see Denver get a winter show. It's possible that they get a winter show at Ball Arena. Mountain View, California, Chula Vista, Hollywood, they all get cut. Hollywood, I would have thought, people thought I think the plan was probably to try to get that album out last year. So they had those. So not surprising, Hollywood Bowl gets cut. Chula Vista and Mountain View, you could go either way with those. State Line is one that kind of doesn't get picked every year, although it's sold out. It did sell out, tick sales wise. In Phoenix, I don't know how much they cap it at. Sometimes with a venue like State Line with a large floor, they will just cap it. Like Hartford does the same thing. The Lawn, how many tickets they would sell for the Lawn in 2023 versus how many tickets they sold for the Lawn in 1998 are 2 totally different things. It's like 5,000 or so less Lawn tickets they'll sell just for wellness and safety. Even with the country concerts, they'll kind of, it's not, they don't pack it in like they used to. Phoenix gets cut. Phoenix, it's possible they have a large enough market to get a winter tour stop, but will they is the question. And we look at last year, and a lot of the West Coast winter stops did not sell well, so maybe they don't risk going to Phoenix in the winter. Maybe they do. But Phoenix has a large enough market. Other thing with Phoenix, it has multiple arenas in its metro. You have the Suns Arena. I don't know what it's called now, but you do also have, was it the what used to be, what is it called? I can look it up. I looked it up today. It's like Sand something. That name keeps changing because Gila River just lost the naming rights. But that venue does not have any professional teams in it. I tweeted about it and then I put it in there. It's possible Phoenix gets a show because, well, oh yeah, wait, never mind. They're getting the Super Bowl show, so I take that back. They probably, I didn't even think about that, and it actually will be at that facility that I just was talking about. So yeah, I would say Phoenix doesn't get a show for the summer then. But the name of that facility, let's see, oh Diamond Desert Diamond Desert Arena in Glendale. Yeah, I forgot about that. Red Rocks would be very rare. Red Rocks, there's a lot of reasons. Many of you guys know them. The load unload for that venue is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult that it the load unload. Also, every night that you play Red Rocks, you have to take everything off the stage, essentially. All the lighting and all the rigging, you have to take all of that down. So even if they would have to do about 3 nights. There would just be so much demand for it. They'd have to do 3 nights minimum, if not four. It's just a tough, and I know they could try to scale back their rig, and then they also have more people on stage than they did back in nine, the weekend on the rocks in what, '05. There's just more people on stage. So I doubt they do Red Rocks. I the only time I see them doing it as like a final hoorah, like the year before they call it quits or the year they call it quits. I think they're holding that out. All right. So here's the thing with this. This is the thing with this, and pull up this graphic here. Walk Around the Moon's coming May 19th, 2023. This is the track listing, and people are not. There's some people. Everyone's gonna be. Certain people are gonna be upset. Oh, these songs are too short. Here's my thing. First off, we haven't heard any of these songs. Okay, first and foremost, we haven't heard any of, well, not any of these songs. We haven't heard some of these songs. We've heard Walk Around the Moon, Madman's Eyes, Ocean and the Butterfly. We've heard Something to Tell My Baby, which, by the way, should be short. We've heard The Only Thing, Break Free, and Singing from the Windows. So two of the songs, Singing from the Windows and Something to Tell My Baby, should be short. Break Free is 4 minutes on the album. We know, I just played the intro. It's about 7, 8 minutes. So they're gonna double that. They're gonna have a jam for the live stuff. I could care less. Monsters, All You've Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow. After Everything, It Could Happen, and Looking for a Vein. Like, we haven't heard these songs. Also, what's been one of the things that sucked about the last couple of albums? A lot of songs that shouldn't have been as extended are extended too long. Off the top of my head, Mercy, the jam that goes to nowhere. Although I enjoy layering that, but it shouldn't be played for as long as it was. The Mercy jam was too long. Come Tomorrow. Just that was too long. Even with the horn solos at the end, the sax and the horn, I believe, or something like that, sax solo. I try not to listen to that song, so I can't remember. It's too long. I think at this part of the band's at this part of the band's legacy, this part of the band's life cycle or life, they don't need to make these super long songs unless it's really good. Drunken Soldier, great song. Drunken Soldier was a great long song. If you don't have a drunken soldier, don't make it. Snow Outside, great song that had extended stuff. If you don't have that, don't play it. Some people are saying, well, imagine Gray Street without the third verse. Imagine Crush being shorter. Imagine this song, The Stone, being shorter. I'm sorry. Has the band made a good song that has the depth of a Stone, of a Bartender, of a like? Have they made a bunch of songs on Come Tomorrow that were up to that caliber?
Nope.
Do they have the ability to make songs as good as the Stone?
Nope.
And if you think that,
Stop the cap.
stop the cat. Less is more with this band. Dave's best songwriting days are over. He can still write Madman's Eyes. It's 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Also, we don't have Leroy Moore. Listen, I love Rashawn. We don't have Leroy Moore. Some of those intricate Bartender and Crush and all that stuff, when you don't have him at quarterback, you're not throwing the Hail Mary. Throw the screen passes. And Rashawn can still do different things live, but they just don't have. You don't have Lily White. You don't have Leroy Moore. They're not making I'm sorry, they're not making Bartender. No artist is making Bartender in their 50s. Okay?
Bruh.
Drunken Soldier was great. But that's like that one deep throw that your Dink and Dak Prescott makes. All right, you're gonna have Dak Prescott make that one gutsy deep throw. Other than that, make the short passes because I don't trust Dak doing anything else. This is Kobe. This is Kobe at the end of his career. He can have a game like the Utah Jazz game, his final game, but that's not happening every night. So I would rather them make all these short songs. You know what you can do instead? What they've been doing the last 10 to 15 years, and Rashawn Ross has been a really key part in this. You can take songs from the past and do cool things with those songs. Take what you've already made greatness with and even take it to a different vibe, a different step. Because the band has changed, things have changed over time, and making things new and fresh are better. And what's great about this is you can throw in any of these songs in a set list, but your highlight moment of the night is still going to be Lion Our Graves. Why would you want them to try to make a Lion Our Graves song when they have Lion Our Graves? I'm sorry. Why? These songs are short and sweet. Life is short and sweet for certain. They'll be great if you don't. It'll be a nice quick hit. It'll be a nice quick hit, and then they'll be able to see what songs they can extend out. I know Break Free can extend out, but Madman's Eyes at 5 minutes, 7 minutes is fine. We already know that epic intro. 4:48 on the album, okay. Right. What happened to Boyd? The thing is, Boyd, take away the allegations. Boyd was disconnected from this band as early as the couple years after Roy passed. Boyd was upset. He was upset at the plot changes of this band and the direction it was going. And I could see it on stage in 15 and 16. Boyd was not putting in the practice. Boyd has been through a lot. He's been taking a lot of pain from touring and touring and touring, had carpal tunnel, and he's not a shell of what he used to be. I hope the best for him as far as his happiness, but he should not be on the stage with DMB at this time. That's what happened to Boyd. That's the Reader's Digest version. Okay. That's really what it is. But yeah, I'm telling you guys, They don't have a lie in our graves left in them. I think Madman's Eyes and Walk Around the Moon are incredible. Ocean and the Butterfly, love it. Right? Something to Tell My Baby, but Break Free, that's good. The only thing I like all the new songs that are on this. I mean, Something to Tell My Baby, that's probably my least favorite out of this. Singing from the Windows is good. I think it'll be great in the studio, right? But I'm telling you guys, this is gonna be something where it's better. It's better. It's better to have that. Um, let's see. Joe, I'm gonna give you a link. Let's see, we'll get this out to Joe. I'm gonna give you this link on Instagram if you want to come in. I'm gonna call Johnny. All right, let's see. Ryan says Major Vibes from Madman's Eyes, not a bad. Yeah, I think the songs are great, but they don't need to do this Lie in Our Graves, Crush, Drunken Soldiers, right? The Stone, those long songs. Less is more. Even you know what? I'm not a fan of the sped up Can't Stop, but at least it's over, right? Can't Stop is in and out, and people like it. People like Can't Stop, and that's the thing. People like these short and sweet songs too. People, you dance out and you vibe out. You know what I'd rather have? Instead of them having these long songs, I'd rather them work on getting a saxophone solo back in number 41. They don't need to make these 15-minute songs. They don't need a 15-minute Angel right now. Make stuff short and sweet. Add it in, have fun, and have fun with this new material that gets these boys happy. They're very excited about this to get it out, and they're finally going to get it out on May 19th. So Anthony says I will share that message. It's a no-brainer. 41 with the sax solo. It's a no-brainer. That's why Madman's Eye is awesome. Jeff on the soprano is awesome. Jeff on any instrument, but that soprano just hits. Let me see. Actually, let me call Johnny. See if we can call. We'll call Johnny first because I think he said he'd be all right. So on the phone right now, folks, we have one of the moderators and creators of DMB Family, Johnny Driscoll. How you doing?
Marcus, happy tour debut or release dates and happy Madman Eye release day. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Excellent. What a day.
Yeah, so walk us through your day. What were you going through this morning as we waited and then got the information about this tour and album?
I gotta be honest. I think I was like with about maybe 99% of the DMB family. I was really hoping that this release was going to get released at midnight this morning. Sadly, that wasn't the case. But hey, it was a constant refresh of every page I had access to. But all in all, worth it. What a great release. I mean, of the song sounds amazing. I don't know what your feelings are. I just think it was very mixed very well. The band sounds great. And then tour dates, obviously, it's one of those things. Again, refresh. And lo and behold, we got some good dates, and I think we got ourselves a good-looking tour.
Yeah, no, I love Madman's Eyes. I think it's a great song, and it was the way they put it together. It felt like a DMB song, not like a Dave solo, That Girl Is You, or some of the other songs seemed, and Come Tomorrow seemed more Dave centric. This featured everybody, and it featured that dark DMB that we haven't gotten in a while.
I completely 100% agree. I would say, the combination, of everybody. From the get-go of you hearing Jeff, you hear a little bit of horn, Rashawn, the bass I found completely dark. And it's like, Stefan, it's like, wow, my brother, like, holy crap. It's just, overall, what a single. And again, that Dark Dave, I can't even remember the last time he went that. I can't even, it's just unbelievable. It was pretty cool to listen to.
Definitely. What would you say is on at least DMB family? What are like some of the most common topics that are coming up on the Facebook group right now?
A matter of the fact, the past, I'd say, month has been, the rumors of this tour, which, is any year really on our page, but this year especially, I think it's kind of because of the world. The world has opened up. COVID exists, yes, it will always exist, but it's kind of like that. We're back. Last year was such fun, but it's like this is kind of like more people are open to tour dates and so forth. So the tour's been filling the page a lot lately. To the matter of fact, where I was getting really nervous, what are they going to do? When are they going to release the dates? And then, we get this beautiful tease on Friday afternoon, evening, and it's just like, it made me feel pretty good about this coming week in the DMB family. But as for that, tour, the new album, who hasn't wanted a new album? Not knocking Come Tomorrow at all. I've grown to love a couple of the songs on it. There are some other songs I still kind of, bite my cheek and I just kind of suck it up and listen to it. But so a new album, I think, is, going to fill our page. Just looking at the tracks that are on it, to actually have studio albums of certain songs, people are excited. Other than that, really not much has been going on in the page. Usually, you get something going on within the family, but there's really been not much. Relatively quiet off season for Dave Matthews, which is kind of confusing.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in just the fan base because there were so many different things before COVID. Yeah, the anticipation of the band coming back, and I think everyone was online during that time where we couldn't go to shows, and now they're back. People are excited, but yeah, it's kind of like, okay, everyone's trying to catch up, I think, with the rest of the world and going out and seeing other bands that have just getting back this past winter. And I think that kind of takes some of the energy out of DMB because Coldplay, and Elton John's just had his final US dates, and you have other bands like Pearl Jam coming back. So I definitely think some of the fan base that was heavy before the pandemic in DMB and still is kind of focused on other things, music, sports, other activities. So it's interesting. Now, what shows are you planning to go to for this tour?
I mean, generally I try to do the East Coast, so Mansfield, Hartford. Then my home, I always call my home away from home venue. I've been going to SPAC. I can't even tell you the year I first started going to SPAC. So it's been quite a few years. I've always gone to SPAC. I just love the venue. I mean, people complain about the lawn at SPAC. I'm very fortunate. I don't mean to be a snob in any regard, but I generally try to get inside. Our SPAC family will understand what inside means. So I've also been unfortunate where I have been on the lawn. But it's to me, SPAC is just an experience. It doesn't matter where I sit, lawn, balcony, back row near somebody who's puking their guts out. It's a matter of that's my home away from home. I've actually been looking at the dates. I'm hopefully possibly going down to Wilmington, North Carolina. I have family who has made it pretty clear that we will be within very short walking distance to the venue from their house. So that's pretty awesome, knowing I'll be able to go to a house to tailgate, have a good time. But then I always just wing it. It's like last year I didn't have tickets to Mansfield up until maybe about a week before the show. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, you know what, I'll go to Mansfield. I've been meaning to get up to Guilford. Bangor, is just always like, it's just like I generally stay East Coast. I'm 41 years old, Marcus. I did most of my traveling with this band in my early 20s and in my 30s. Mm-hmm. I'm slowing down. Everyone's like, oh, how many slowing down by? It's like I did, 8 shows last year. That's enough for me, but for some people, right. It all depends really, where they're touring.
Right. And just as you said that, I think that's what's great about the DMB family is you have a great mix of people that are going to a couple shows a year. People are going to 20 shows in extremes, and you have people in the middle, and we all kind of talk and share hardcore, casual, cheesy songs, deep songs. It's a nice mix of people. So that's what I love about it. And you let us kind of express ourselves as much as we can, different viewpoints. So thank you for being on, Johnny. We'll definitely check in with you later in the year. And best of luck getting seats for SPAC.
Appreciate it, Marcus. All the best. Just quickly, I would just also like to the fans watching Marcus's lovely YouTube channels, and I just would like, because Marcus, I've actually only just posted on your Facebook. I haven't talked to you. Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to see that. Your lovely wife must be a saint to put up with you doing all these YouTube shows, because I know you put a lot of time and effort into it. I hope you're spending time with your new bride, and definitely I will catch up with you probably before the tour and definitely on the tour.
All right. You have a good one. Take care. Goodbye. All right. So that's Johnny from DMB family. We got Jojo on standby. I do want to get to Jessica because I know I want to get to her. Jessica, I'm going to call you just so make sure we have a good connection. And I don't know if Wayne's with you, your husband, Wayne, but we're going to get to Jessica here. Shane, we'll get to you as well if you're still watching.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Jessica, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So the tour dates are here. The album is here. What's been going through your mind today now that we have a lot of new information?
Now I'm going through that. Oh, maybe one more show. Oh, we could probably make that show work. Could we make that show work too? And then you remember that you have like a job and children and stuff. I'm excited.
So what shows right now do you think that you're kind of locked in, that it's almost like a sure shot you're going to go to?
Deer Creek for sure. I'd already made hotel reservations based on rumors that I could cancel. But we were planning on leaving on the 29th. So now Milwaukee's on the 29th. And that's like 20 minutes from our house. So I'm debating, do we stay in town, go to Milwaukee, drive to Deer Creek, come home, go to Chicago, come home. Lots of options.
Right.
And also looking at some East Coast shows for the first time.
Yes, I know you're talking about SPAC and Guilford. Now tell us about that drive. For people who are at home may not be familiar, what is that drive like from the Milwaukee Metro to Deer Creek when you only have a day to travel?
You have to move with purpose. It takes longer than you think. Like the traffic is always going to be worse. I'd say once you get past like northern Indiana, it's a little bit faster, but then it's 2 lanes and it's 70. And there's been a couple of times where like everybody's going exactly 70 and you can't move. So it's taking a very long time to go anywhere.
Yes, I experienced that when I was doing the Deer Creek and Alpine run in Indiana, that portion of Northwest Indiana where it's 2 lanes and you have a couple of trucks. One truck is slow. One truck is trying to be fast, but is just as slow as the other truck. And you're kind of boxed out. So for those of you at home who are thinking of doing that, just realize you got to leave. If you're Milwaukee, you got to leave Milwaukee first thing in the morning. If you want to get to Deer Creek, it's 4 or 5 hours on GPS, but you're going to, want to account for a couple more hours just in case. What do you think about the new album and the track listing and the song times? Any of that kind of giving your thoughts and opinions?
It's looking pretty good. I'm excited that I can pre-order a CD because, I'm elder and don't know how to download digital music still. And I'm thinking those won't be bathroom songs because they're not long enough.
Yes.
But it's cool to see some songs that we've heard and are starting to get to know better, and some that I don't think I've heard or anybody's heard maybe. So it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. There's only one, what I consider like an old school deep cut, which is Break Free. That's the only old song that they're bringing back. And so everything else is either a song no one's ever heard or a song that we've heard live in some fashion. So it's definitely a lot more mystique around this album as far as what we're going to experience for the album than Come Tomorrow, where we kind of knew most of the songs in some way. So it's definitely a different thing. Now, do the shorter times make a difference for you as far as these being under, like you can't go to the bathroom during them? They're that short. This is an album under 50 minutes. Does any of that kind of make you impact you, or is it kind of like, are you indifferent?
I think I'm indifferent.
Okay.
I mean, the album length is how it'll be on the album, right? And then as they play them more and more live, I think some of them might get longer, and like a short song is fine sometimes in between. They'll still play like a 17-minute Jimmy thing. It'll be fine.
Hey, watch your language. Is Wayne there? Any thoughts from Wayne, or is he busy?
He is here. He's watching TV.
Okay.
He's really excited about the possibility of driving really early in the morning to go to Deer Creek. Just kidding. He's not. It's Marcus. You want to say hi to Marcus?
Hi, Marcus.
Hey, Wayne, how's it going?
Do you want the truth or you want me to lie to you?
This is 100% truth, no nonsense, no sugarcoating show. So.
It's stressful. I have a wife that doesn't know what she wants to do. I'm sure you can understand that.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
You have to step in and make the executive decision.
Right? Well, yesterday it was, well, we can do Pine Knob and then we'll go to Deer Creek and now that Milwaukee's there, it's like, okay, well, I know you're going to do Milwaukee and then Chicago and Deer Creek and maybe some East Coast shows. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually would say, looking at this, I would say go for the East Coast if you have the ability to leave. And because like Pine Knob, for where you guys are in Wisconsin, that's a drive. And I don't think like that's something you could swap out for next year.
Yeah.
Because that's like, oh, we missed Michigan. You need a year to miss Michigan at this time of year in the summertime. So I would say come out to the East Coast. Well, I'll help you guys out. I'll be at SPAC and I may do Guilford and get some change of scenery. And then with the Deer Creek weekend, I would say you're probably, if you go to Deer Creek and skip Milwaukee, even though it's Summerfest. I loved Summerfest last year. You're probably going to get a lot of Milwaukee songs night 2 and night 1 of Deer Creek.
Yeah.
So you're better off getting the drive or getting a flight, doing the travel day to Deer Creek if you're not going to fly, and then say, okay, maybe there's 2 or 3 songs you miss, but I don't think they're going to do anything crazy at Summerfest. That's a practice. That's your dress rehearsal for Deer Creek.
Yeah. Pine Knob is definitely out because last year when we went, we took a day and a half to drive from here. We stopped in somewhere, Battle Creek, and then drove the rest of the way and then spent part of a day in Detroit and then drove down to Deer Creek. So that definitely can't happen this year with the order of the shows.
And it was hot.
Oh, God, it was so hot.
All right. Yeah, I remember that.
We can manage Milwaukee to Deer Creek and just make it a fast weekend and then save our travel days for the East Coast.
Yes.
You should see the side eye he's giving me right now.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, the East, I mean, I love the Midwest when I went out to visit you guys, but to experience New England in the summer, it's the same idea as Michigan and Wisconsin. You get this cold weather climate that has 75 to 80 degree weather. You have all sorts of fun things that are seasonal. You're going to get seafood if you like it. You get different types of desserts, different types of tourist things you can do. And New Hampshire has no state tax. So if you have everything from clothes, there's outlets right when you get into New Hampshire. If you have any sort of adult beverages, don't buy them. Don't bring them with you if you drive or fly. Just go to the liquor stores in New Hampshire and Guilford because there's no state tax or sales tax. And the liquor is drastically cheaper because the state regulates every liquor store. It's a long story, but Guilford's a lot of fun and there's a lot of great New England things. So I would say travel. I would tell everyone to do that. Also, what that does for anyone listening at home, when you go to too many shows in a row, they get in a rhythm where if you go to Guilford and then you go to Deer Creek and then maybe you go to Wilmington, North Carolina, you're going to get 3 sets of rotated songs that come in and come out. Shotgun did not hit anything in Deer Creek, Alpine, and SPAC. I went to all those. It didn't hit it, but it did hit a lot of Texas. Same with other songs. They hit certain times of the tour and then they went away. So I would say to spread it out as much as possible, especially if you have a lot of experience like you guys have driving to various parts, going to shows over time. That's probably the best route.
I told her let's do the segment from 7-11 to 7:22 on the East Coast and just hit all them shows.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Make it a big year for her so she can get 13 in.
I'll be 40 this year, but we have these broke little roommates. Oh, she said yes.
Random fact. If there's jobs, because you guys are in Milwaukee Metro, if they sweep up the floors at the Bucks games, that job gives you like $80,000 to $120,000 a season.
What?
So if you teach them now how to sweep up the floor, that could be some money, you know. Have the kids work there, and there's your tour money.
Marcus, I took a foreman's position at work, so that kind of bumped us up a little bit.
Yeah, but I told her
nice.
that you could earn 50 cents for vacuuming the kitchen floor, and now you're saying she can get 80,000. It's a bigger floor, though.
Yes, and if you don't do it right, they could get injured. So, you know, make sure to get some training in, and then see.
No, we're probably gonna do, I would assume, 6 or 7 shows total.
I would also tell you that Guilford and Saratoga Springs are easier ways to travel and have better the hotels are going to be high in Saratoga, but you can get one in like Albany, where Homedale, Jones Beach, and Camden, that's where the congestion is in the Northeast. Like you're going to be stuck in traffic. Homedale to me isn't worth it. Jones Beach isn't worth it. I'm saying you as a traveler, it's not worth it. Camden is a great weekend, but I would say definitely do Guilford and SPAC, but you could probably cut out that Homedale, Jones Beach, and Camden, because it's just a lot to be on the road, to get hotels. Camden, you just have to be careful. Don't get a hotel in Camden. You'd have to go to Philly. But if anyone's traveling, I would say just if you're not from that part from the Northeast, everything is close in theory, but the traffic is crazy. And Jones Beach, from all accounts, if it rains, the stage is in the water.
Oh.
It's in the physical water on a elevated platform. So when those winds hit, it's like the high waves you get from a storm. If you live by the coast, it's horrible. The rain, the place floods when there's a heavy rain for a couple of days in a row. So, I would say avoid Jones Beach. If you're traveling to the Northeast, I would say and you want New York City, I would say go to the Hartford weekend, go to Forest Hills, or go just to Camden. I wouldn't go to Jones Beach or Homedale. So. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for being on. I just realized, the time is flying. But we'll definitely reach out to you guys later this year.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you on the West or the East Coast.
All right. Yes. Well, take care, guys. Bye.
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 All right. So we're going to bring in Jojo. And let's see. Set this up. All right. How you doing, Joe?
What's up, Marcus? How are you?
I'm living the dream, dreaming to live. So tell us about your reaction. Let's start off first because you were passionate about this. Let's talk about the track listing. What are your thoughts on the track listing and some of the reaction, overreaction, or kind of talk about these tracks?
Again, I want to pretend for a minute that there was an announcement that the band's no longer playing anymore. They're not touring, hiring. Like everybody would freak out and cry and, oh, what are we gonna do? Great day. They released an album, right? We got to see a track list that five songs. I don't know, right? 3, 5, 7, 8, and 11. Songs we've not yet heard that they'll probably sprinkle something in maybe before we even, and you'll be, oh, this is a nice, cool new song. I hope they play that tomorrow night. So, I think people, who cares how long the album is? Who cares? Like maybe the songs are short in the studio. You know what? Maybe the album isn't going to be good. Like, I don't know, but I just, it's frustrating a call and judging something without even hearing it, right? It's a great day. I've never seen on Ants marching today, and people posting on their Instagram, so I don't see any of that stuff. But look, I'm traveling this weekend. A little birdie told me 10 o'clock was going to be the drop date, and I'm online checking. I'm in a meeting, and I text this guy that tends to know a lot. I don't know if you heard of him. And he said, you got to wait till noontime. So I did. I think it was a good day. It was fun not be excited. It's like for all of us, it's a bit of Christmas, right? And but I'm not saying shake your pom-poms. You can hate us. I might hate something. You might like it, right? It's, as you always say, it's something for everybody, but it just negativity. I said we've become that spoiled. I don't know. Just hear it differently than you do.
Right. And I think the other thing I didn't bring up, but most artists, when they get to this in their 50s, you don't really get a lot of music, or you don't get a lot of good music. So to kind of be overly critical of an album well past Dave's prime of like, okay, I'm 30, I'm 28, I'm 27, 26, and I'm really learning about life and writing about it. That's why I've always been more laid back about this stuff. I've reacted to stuff I don't like, but I've always said, hey, if you only have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, make this. I said last year, if the album's 45 minutes or less, that's okay. Do what you can. If you're feeling, Madman's Eyes came from a part of the pandemic, of the violence and anger that was going on in the pandemic, and Dave brought it to life. So we have that song. If he doesn't have another song, like a lot of these songs don't sound like aggressive like Madman's Eyes, that's okay. What else? Walk Around the Moon is great.
Right? I don't think there's debating we do, right? And the conversations we have, would you like 90% or better? Everyone likes Madman's Eye.
I would say over 90% or more. There's a minority that I've heard 1 or 2 people say they didn't like Madman's Eyes, or one person said, hey, the release of it made me like it.
And what about Walk Around the Moon? Good song, bad song, generally speaking?
Overall, people like it.
Yeah. So my point to that is, I'll spring off yours. Dave's in his 50s. Right? He doesn't music, and those are 2 very good songs that I think all of us enjoy. Nobody would these days, right? And like, cherish it. And we have 5 in June. If people say those 5 songs are all stinkers, and there's only, I'll respect that. But wait, let's wait until we hear it.
Right. And Tables Turn Again says there's a high correlation between long DMB songs and quality DMB songs. What I would say to that is, to an extent, I would say Proud as Monkey over time has not hit as it used to. that was a longer song, but at the time it was fairly good. But yeah, that's the case. But my thing is, if he doesn't have a long song, don't do it. And as you said, there may be a song here that is only a couple of minutes long, but they find a way, even in 2024, as they're testing out these never heard songs live. In 2024, just like songs from Away from the World, Sweet hit its peak, or Sweet really found its footing in 2021. It took from 2012.
That's my favorite albums, and I'll stand by it. I like that album.
Right. But it took Buddy Strong's outro to me to get Sweet to its potential. It took Buddy Strong, that was 9 years in, because that was after he had been with the band. And they nailed it. Mercy, same thing in 2019. Mercy with Buddy Strong in Europe. They only played it once with him. But Mercy in 2019 hit its stride for the outro. Great song. The idea of it is great, but the jam never had that energy and specialness. So these songs are going to take time to develop. And yeah, I think it's true that the longer the song, typically the better. Last Stop, I think of the Stones, Seek Up. But if he doesn't have that, that's fine. We just saw, looking at, and a lot of this is like sports. The message boards are just like, we're in New England, we're Patriots fans. The Patriots message boards, people literally are, it's worse than DMB. And like the University of Kentucky message boards, the Tennessee Vols football message, like there's like threats to people. I think that's the thing too, is sometimes you have to take a break from the message boards, because you're getting a small percentage of the fan base that sometimes can be good in some ways, but overly critical. And that's one of the things where you have to separate. This is the 1% of the 1% of fans saying this. The majority of the fans are not freaking out that none of the songs are over 5 minutes. So.
Like you said, the version is going to be short, and a live version is going to be different. Like we don't know, and girl to hear it through. I didn't the release Madman's Eye and on anything good other than my phone, because like I said, I'm on the road. The fam thought they like it better live, and who doesn't. So, but they cool version. And so I've not really been able to kind of embrace that as much as I'd look forward to doing so.
Yeah, I will say with Madman's Eyes, it has obviously the live, that's the whole point of DMB. The live version is better. The vocals for the chorus in the studio don't match what Dave does live, but Madman's Eyes is a studio track, does what it needs to do. It starts off in this eerie quietness build up, like there's something crazy is about to happen, but it slowly builds up to it. And a lot of the songs from Big Whiskey don't do that. A lot of the songs from Away from the World and Come Tomorrow don't have that energy that Madman's Eyes builds up to in the studio. So I will say that, yes, it's not like the live version, but to me, it's everything that's been missing from Dave, because he can't, when his life is so good and we don't want him to have a bad life, it's hard to create Madman's Eyes. But something during that pandemic inspired him. The being stuck at home, seeing what was going on in the news. He talked about it on Sirius XM about the gun violence and the evil in the world. It inspired him to say, this is my song to like capture the anger I'm seeing in people. And hopefully we can all self-evaluate some of the angst we've had from the lockdown period and some of the anger that even we see on TV that angers us. And hopefully we can self-reflect and say, hey, this is the type of things that are impacting us in our world. So I thought you did a great job with it.
Hey, I was surprised you've not mentioned this yet, and I've not seen. Curious to get your take. Got a new look when trying to request their ticket upgrade. The UI was way different.
The what? The
UI, the interface.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And actually, I have, see, I can pull up my warehouse. And also, the prices went up again. I'm interested to see because the most popular venues, they're still going to sell out. But as the prices keep going up, some of the more casual dates, and I think most importantly, the Gorge. Interesting to see how tickets do, because they're 150 and 135 now. The tickets have essentially doubled in price in the last 10 years, which for DMB is huge. You know, for from the late 90s to the mid 2000s, the tickets didn't really drastically jump, but there's
You know, part of it for this year, you didn't mention this either, Hartford.
what about Hartford?
Yeah, there's a special guest. Did you see that?
In Hartford?
Marcus's wife's going to be there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. She's a yeah. That is true. So it's a tougher ticket if you want to move
Yeah,
up.
that's was going to be pointed. People are a little bit complaining today, and part of me thinks, gosh, let's just wait. Selections come out and you see what you got or didn't get.
Yeah. I think this right here, the 150 for everything in the lower, the 135. I mean, again, for certain venues, these things are gonna sell out.
What I liked about this was usually if it's a venue I've not been to, I try to pull up a chart to see what it looks like. To have it right there in front of you, it was way easier to click your tickets. They did a good job. I mean, that's a major upgrade from what we've been used to seeing.
Oh yeah, easy to, and then you can even see,
Yeah.
yeah, like Forest Hills. This is gonna be interesting. Also, it is floor. I didn't even look at this. It is floor.
Yeah.
And it's 149, 149. Let's take a look at Wilmington to see what that looks like. Oh, this is small. Oh, this probably will sell out. It's interesting too because I know you obviously you're in Massachusetts, but you know more just like me. Um, Everyone from Mass, Connecticut, New England, a lot of people are moving down to the coastal Carolina, Appalachia, Carolina, South Carolina. It's the new Florida to me for the New England because they
Yeah. Well,
have that land.
COVID people could live anywhere and continue to work the way they worked in New England, so they took it.
Yeah. Oh, and look at this. The lawn for this venue is $75, but this looks like a very small. Let me see this. Live Oak Bank Pavilion, Wilmington. Let's see if we can. Let's take a look at this venue. Oh yeah, this looks small. So this is, let's see if we can look at the capacity. And it's right at, yeah, let's see. Oh, 7,200. Okay. So this is like Mohegan Sun capacity, and it's right at the riverfront, or yeah, the riverfront, river walk. Wow. So this is gonna be there's only 2,400 seats.
Wow.
The
That's a
lawn
big
is
lawn.
so that's why the lawn is 4,800, and that's really like what's Mansfield is like that. It's like the lawn is going to be the size of Mansfield, where Hartford is like 15,000. So these are 75 a piece for the lawn, but it looks like the lawn is closer from these photos. Based on these photos, yeah, it looks like that lawn is pretty big if you zoom in. right there. See, yeah. Wish I could see a picture of it. I don't. This thing is due to open this year, so that's interesting. That it's yeah. This looks very small. Yeah, you're right. The interface is a lot easier to use for this ticket request. You can see everything clearly.
Shame of that one is my owned a house in Wrightsville. They moved back last year. That would have been perfect.
Oh, you had a house.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, I saw. So one of my buddies reached out to me, and he's the most fan we have, and he was really upset today. He's like, I can't believe they skipped Denver. That's his hometown. He's like, it's and I did a count, and I might be wrong, but it looks like there's this for the summer tour, and there was 46 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chance they or do you think maybe they were just cutting back a little bit?
Yeah, 42 this year. Yeah, 46 last year. They could be cutting back, but I also think they're probably going to do some sort of fall tour. So they're with the way they've been, because
They
they've
did a fall
torn up.
tour last.
Right.
Oh, you're fall
But I'm
tour versus tour. Okay.
Yeah, and the fall tour this year was pretty quick. I think there's a possibility to do some extensive fall touring, like they hit more dates in the East Coast, and they're also going to be promoting an album. But I think they could be taking a little bit of a step back. I prefer for them to have 40 dates. I know it's 42. I don't mind them having a 40 date summer tour and do the quality over quantity, because some venues are not filling up the lawn. And I think Blossom should be back. And like Blossom's a venue they should always touch, but they didn't. I think Denver's one. My guess is maybe with the cold from Denver, or the fact they just couldn't book the venue that on a specific weekend.
They had the
They just
available or hope to have the dates available.
yeah, they probably passed it up. Also with the West Coast, the logistics of touring are just so much harder on the West Coast. To drop like, and especially like Denver is, you got mountain passes and you got long distances. So I mean they could start there, but it's a lot to travel. Even this year they have Bend, Oregon first. So they're doing that Tuesday. And then they're gonna chill in this like the Pacific Northwest and then get to the gorge. So even with this gorge run, they're just saying, hey, we'll be in Bend and can rest for a couple of days and then do the 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm interested to see as well. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't look. I just haven't had the time to map it. Is there a big break like they normally do? Did you look at kind of the spread?
Yeah, it's less than a month. So you have traditionally they'll do West Palm Beach or Orange Beach, and then they'll go out to the West Coast. So this time it stops at West Palm Beach. I'm gonna pull this up here. So we have Orange Beach and then West Palm Beach, July 28th. And July 29th. After that, they come back August 26th, I believe is what it is. Let's see. 28th. Oh no, August 24th. So this is an interesting one. This is in Highland, California. So they do July 29th and the next show is August 24th.
Yeah. So basically almost a month off.
Yeah. So they have that break. I think it's good though. I think it's nice to have that break and to retool and just kind of get back to their family and at their age. I'm trying to look where Highland, California is.
I think it's I think it's Southern Cal.
Let's take a look. Oh, yep, you're right. Right by San Bernardino. Okay, so it's right on by the mountains, northwest or just west of LA. Right where you hit those mountains, San Bernardino, right where the San Bernardino Valley starts.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting though that's they're playing there.
You know, you're looking at lawns and checking out prices of lawn seats. I thought it was, maybe it isn't, but I'm happy about the Nashville stop because I'm definitely going to that one. But that's at an arena, which is a bit odd for a quote summer tour, just because there's no other place to play in that area, or worried about weather
So
in May.
so the problem with Nashville, they built the Ascend Amphitheater, right? And it's too small. Dave and Tim sold it out, but it's too small for DMB. That's probably the one weakness, which it's crazy I'm saying this. Tennessee just got a new amphitheater. I think it's in South Central. I can't remember where it is, but there's a new one. Capacity. This venue is too small, especially for Nashville. It has 2,300. Look at this. It's 2,300 fixed seats and 4,500 on the lawn. For the market size, that's way too small. And the Bridgestone Arena sold out last time they played it. So that's a money thing that they do. Now Michael says this. He says, "Why do they keep going to Arkansas?" And I agree. It doesn't make sense why they go there. I know a couple, like shout out to Chad Dizzy and Ants Martin. He's out there, but it's not a heavy thing. My guess it's some sort of Live Nation thing.
That's an alternative, only because I can make a work trip out of it.
Gotcha. I don't have the Arkansas because they didn't play it last year. And 2021 was a tough year for tour data because if one of the DMB shows didn't make like the top X amount, like the top 200 tour dates of the year, we didn't have data from there. So I don't think I have what they did in Rogers. But I think they played a JTR in Rogers. But to me, I think overall, when you see these shows in Mississippi and Arkansas, the band may want to go there. And also there may be something with Live Nation Ticketmaster to say, hey, can you feed these venues some shows?
I know that spot doesn't necessarily a lot of people that are excited that they can go to that venue because it's close. So it must feel that deep south. Hey, you know, it's funny. The Banger, I was there last time they played there. I think that's the Darlings Waterfront.
Yep.
Friends of ours went to Cumber and they said they redid the entire venue. And they said they don't so don't know. I've not seen it. Hopefully I'll get to have an opinion this summer.
Yeah, I saw on a Fish on Twitter, someone I follow for Fish content showed like the construction or renovations of that main venue. So it'll be interesting to see. Michael, who's in St. Louis, also shout out to Stephen Rack, Stephen Rack, who's in St. Louis. St. Louis has not gotten shows recently, but I think there's something with DMB and in general, certain concerts that certain acts aren't coming to St. Louis. They're also not going out to Kansas because the band used to go out to at least St. Louis and sometimes Kansas. There's something where the band is staying more northern, staying along the lakes, the Great Lakes. They go up to Chicago or Alpine, but they don't go to St. Louis. And I don't know what it is. I know a lot of population is leaving those plain states. A lot of population is leaving St. Louis or leaving. Kansas City is actually growing now. Kansas City at one point was going down, but they're actually on an uptrend. Kansas City is the biggest city in Missouri. That's the other thing too. St. Louis is not keeping up with Kansas City as far as population. The Kansas City metro is actually the Kansas side and Missouri side is growing. a lot. But the problem with Kansas City is it's too far off the beaten path. I feel like this band is really touching those upper Great Lakes. Then they go down south. This band's getting to the coast. And you see Blossom got cut. Riverbend was cut last year. They're really trying to get along these little coastal highway routes. I don't know if it's
Well,
for
to your
travel.
point,
Yeah.
Just travel for the equipment and the logistic just might be saving them some money. It might not be
Yeah.
worth driving out there.
Right.
I'm gonna have a
Right.
shorter. Looks like Nashville, Mansfield, Guilford, and Bangor. See what happens. I mean, that's kind of jammed in. I think that's one in May and a couple in July. So I'll kind of determine if there'll be how things are going and what life throws at you, but pretty much sticking East Coast.
Yeah.
I love going there anyway, like just to visit. Talk about a small, intimate. You talked about that stadium earlier. There, the only thing I would say I didn't like is this high, and it's just different if you're in the pit. A little weird. Like I think if you've been there, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's like 2 or 3 feet higher than we're used to venue.
So it's pretty steep in when you went to Charleston. You were pit first night?
Yeah, pit first night and to the stage right, but those seats were phenomenal. To your point of like, hey, imagine watching a tennis match. They were perfect because they were more level with the stage height. So it's a nice place. I mean, Charleston's a lot of fun. To your point, it's a destination spot for romping around. There's plenty to do there. But it was the only thing that was weird was being in the pit. The stage was, and then again, yeah, I'm all a 5'7" too. So put that in perspective.
Right. I'm 5'7" as well. So no, I get that. And yeah.
On your Guilford spot, I lived in New Hampshire for almost 13 years. Great state, yes. No tax. That's really cool. But that's a venue on that one. That's probably one of the fewer spots that I frequent that I've not had comes through this year.
You haven't been to the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion?
No, I've been there. It's actually one of my favorite venues. That's something I go to almost every year, so I couldn't go. Normally, that's a definite 2 nights. Mm-hmm. I've never actually gotten pit tickets for Guilford.
Gotcha.
Have you been in the pit there?
No, I was like 2 rows from the pit in 2021, and it was a great view. It was great.
Small.
I've never been pit.
Yeah. Hey, here's a little tip. You know why? If people are not pit people, the first row of seats are right up against the rail. If you're front row pit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very tight.
To get close, but don't like the pit. Be the spot to try and hope to get lucky or spend some hard.
Yeah, my seats popped up. I bought my seats like 2 days before, so they pop up right there before that. The band doesn't use them. The AV mix. I was the row behind the soundboard night 1, 2021. At both nights I bought them like right before, and they were both phenomenal views. So Hey, all right, let me land my plane and get out of here. But Jojo, thank you so much for the insight. You've been to a lot of different venues, and you have a lot of different, uh, you know, points of view that are great insight for people just to put things in perspective. So we thank you for coming on, and we'll see you later this year as far as
I
coming
agree.
on here
We
after a show.
have one expectation from you for you, and when the tour kicks off, you got to leak one of these new. That's your mission.
I got to leak what?
One of the new songs.
Well, I'll see what I can do. We'll get an Concert Biz 34 exclusive
There we go.
listeners. I'll talk to I'll talk to Jeff and Rashawn.
They'll take care of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your night. You take care.
You got to thank.
All right. All right. So yeah, that's gonna end the stream. Let's see. Fall tour dates. You're talking about Enterprise. We'll see. Yeah, Pearl Jam. But see, the difference with Pearl Jam, I think, is Pearl Jam was on a tour. The thing with DMB is they kind of get in their habits and they're trying to cut costs. Pearl Jam hadn't done an arena tour in forever. And Pearl Jam, geez, guys, Pearl Jam, if you're watching this stream, stop being lazy and do some East Coast dates. They did Camden and MSG, and that was it. Friend of the show, Matt Souden, had to go to Nashville, and he lucked out at Nashville with the verified fans, right? But like, Jesus Christ, Pearl Jam has not even done Seattle. It's the very weird anything. Let me stop. But they're so get on, dude. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Enterprise Center definitely has the is a venue that could possibly have it. The other thing though is the fall tour numbers were bad. I'll even try to see it. Let me pull those up. Let me just pull these up for you guys. This is just a Microsoft Word doc where I got some of this from Polestar. Guys, the fall tour was horrible outside of a couple shows. Let me pull this up. Rogers didn't even crack 1 million. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these dates. So Hollywood Bowl did all right, but even that was 77%. Rogers sold 6,202 seats, 45.41%. That's 476,000. Not good. Climate Pledge Arena. Hey, Seattle, y'all did y'all thing. I saw some open season. I was saying that Seattle showed out. But then, like the next night, this is a Saturday night in Portland. 9,000 people showed up for that.
Bruh.
Look at this one, Idaho. 5,000 people showed up. I was totally wrong. I was like, oh yeah, all the transfers from California. But I was wrong. And then we have Salt Lake City, 64%, 7,000, but they're not even cracking 1 million for these shows. Omaha got 77%, 11,000. The Target Center, probably one of the best shows of the tour, got 72%, 9,000. So they're doing under 10,000 at these shed or arenas that are. Now this one is interesting. This Chicago one is like confusion because Chicago for hockey holds 20,000. So they must have not sold certain I know people said it was pretty full. Chicago should hold more people than 13,000. It's very weird that maybe they just, I don't know. I feel like 13K. I know you have back, but that was weird. Also, there was no data for these two. But yeah, that was the fall tour. I mean, these nothing outside of MSG, which I know got over, 13. That like Climate Pledge is really the highest, 1372, or Chicago was. But some of these shows that didn't even get to 1 million in tickets sold. It's like that's bad. The Hollywood Bowl didn't sell. Look at oh, and the Hollywood Bowl, that's 2 nights, 26 over 2 nights, 77%. Shoreline did not do. 55%. That's yikes. Chula Vista did 61, Phoenix did 63. Yeah. Tahoe sold out. Tahoe got that 100. Right? You know what's crazy? Let's pull up Hartford real quick and I'll get out of here. But look at some of these 63, 7. A lot of these amphitheaters did not do good. Hartford did not do well as far as percentage, but a lot of that's the lawn. The lawn does not sell out. Mansfield got much more than Hartford, but they have much more seats versus lawn area. But Hartford, that lawn was
Bruh.
for that's the lawn, because there's like 6,700 seats, and then the rest is the lawn. So one of the things with some of these larger lawns, if they don't sell them, these 57% of tickets sold, but that's because it's the lawn. Like I said, 6,700 is the indoor seating plus the pit. Yeah, but that's why they're going to get back, because they're going to sell out the amphitheater. Just so Dave makes the joke about there's only 35,000 fans that follow him to every show, and she says these numbers are great for a band with 35. I mean, the Vancouver one's not good. You got 35,000 fans. What are they, all felons? Only 6,000 DMB fans could make it over the border. They got all the rest got in trouble in Canada. Yeah. So, all right. We'll end the show. Yeah, how about we're going to go and have a song. Just going to end it out on this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button. YouTube Concert Biz 34. I will, you won't be disappointed. I got to go to the baseball parks out there. I've been to Kansas City for the, when I worked at StubHub, I worked the Sweet 16. I actually saw Travis Kelce. He came into the room and got tickets. And when I said I saw Travis Kelce, he got his tickets. I was with another customer, and then I looked over. It's like, that's Travis Kelce. And all of a sudden, he was gone. That was the year Kansas lost to Oregon. That was a good game. That was a good regional. Purdue and Kansas, Oregon and Michigan. Both games were very good. Well, a new album drive, absolutely not. But you know what? A year without an album doesn't drive ticket sales up dramatically. I find that album or no album, the ticket sales don't really drastically jump up. The pandemic made ticket sales jump up in some cases because people wanted to get back. But a new album's not going to drive, like, especially with the way this album is constructed. I don't think they're not going to like, I think the only thing that could happen is if some of these new songs don't land well, or the set list or show flow, you may lose some of the lawn or last minute tickets. New album, could it bring new fans? I think you could get more fans listening to them. Will it bring more fans to the gates? I don't know, especially when tickets are $135 or $149 and the lawn is $50. I will say a lot of people's kids are listening to DMB. There's a whole new generation taking this stuff up. TikTok is it's interesting, and this happens with every generation, right? When I was in high school, we were listening to Dark Side of the Moon, and I listened to all the old school hip hop. I remember listening to one thing I remember is listening to Run DMC, A Tribe Called Quest, Gangstar, right? Moment of Truth, and Step Into the Arena by Gangstar, Public Enemy, the Beatles. Things come all back in circles. And that's what actually what Excursions by Tribe Called Quest talks about. But Bobby's wilding, just Bobby's doing it just like Michael or whatever. That's what Q-Tip says. Back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had a cell and before I had a pager. Classic album, Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest. So, but the thing is, there's a difference between a fan and are they going to buy a ticket, and are they going to be committed to the fan base as the previous generation is. And listen, it's hard. If I was in college, I graduated 10 years or 11 years ago. If I was in college and I come out and tickets are 150, I don't know. When I came out of college, like there was a 4-pack for the lawn for like, I think it was like $15, $20 a piece per lawn ticket. And Jess's daughter was singing Grave Digger. That's funny. That actually could scare some of the kids at school. What are you, grave digger? When you dig my grave? That's cute though. You are they gonna go to a show? And you see a lot on Spotify. You see artists who have tons of Spotify listeners, but they can't fill up a venue. And you have some artists that don't have a hit on the radio and they sell out. Bad Bunny. Oh no, he does. Russ, there's a rapper, Russ, who can sell out like the Staple. He sold out the Staples Center, but doesn't have a hit on the radio. There's exceptions like that. So, but the younger fan bases for these younger acts have more of a, people are going to pay the money. Are people going to pay 150 for DMB or 135 or even 95 plus fees is high for some fans who are passive. So, but I don't think it'll do anything. Yeah, and you know what's funny? The TikToks, yes, TikTok is big, but music in general doesn't have like. There's more like. I think kids. I mentor kids in my community every Saturday. Have a mentor program, but they're more into like YouTube personalities or video game streamers are are even more popular than actual musicians in some cases. Obviously, you have your big BTS, that type of stuff, but for these kids, there's a bigger value in the YouTube personality, right? Like when the kids I mentor, they found, oh, you got a YouTube channel? They're like, yo, that's dope. Like, that's like saying I'm a rapper 10 years ago. Obviously, this is a small channel, but you know, there's these YouTube personalities, the parody videos, the prank videos. That's like more popular than some musicians. So things have changed. Imagine a 4-night run at Red Rocks. That'd be epic. Dead and Company did that was it last year or the year before last? And it was madness. They did two shows at no, they didn't do 4. They did 2 shows at Red Rocks, 2 shows at Fiddler's, I believe. Or Boulder or something like that. And it was like, and that's Dead and Company. Now the Dead is a brand, but not every Deadhead loves Dead and Company. So you imagine DMB. And Dead and Company was John Mayer and an older Bobby, older Bill. So DMB would definitely, it got pretty crazy on the on sale and the resale market. Again, for essentially a shell of a band that just essentially is like a cover band, like J-Rad and Bob. No, Phil and Friends and J-Rad do Dead stuff better than Dead and Company. And I love John Mayer and I love Bobby. But they sold like, I don't think you can do. They don't have the leverage. They don't have the leverage to do this. They don't. Like the venue is going to want to get stuff to sell to the people. Unless DMB owned Red Rocks, they can't do that. And I don't think it's fair to have, like, say it's just warehouse members get to go here, because there's a lot of fans who canceled their warehouse membership and just buy tickets last minute. I mean, you can make a lot of money for, like, you can make money like raising the price of the membership. But that's still that defeats the purpose. There should always be on sale tickets, in my opinion. Even the final shows, it shouldn't just be warehouse only. You got to have a general public sale. And scalpers have warehouse accounts too, so it doesn't matter. They would find a way either way. I just like the idea of fans getting tickets from the on sale and warehouse, and then, hey, you got two shots. But they do not have the leverage at all. The only band that's done that all fan club is BTS. Now they actually have to go to the military in South Korea, so they're not. But anyway, BTS did that. BTS is the most, like, one of the best, probably the most popular act in the world before they had to do their military service. Like, they could sell anything in Asia, Europe, Africa, anywhere. They're the only ones, but that even Taylor Swift couldn't do that. Ed Sheeran couldn't do that. BTS is the only band that I've seen in this era have a fan club only stadium, let alone Red Rocks. You got to have that type of leverage. But I'm going to get out of here. See ya. Peace. Oh, hit the like button. Stay tuned. Maybe on Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I'm going to end this thing. We'll end with the little outro thing, and then we'll turn it off. All right. Take care, guys. Peace.